Hello and welcome to the video. My name is Vaselli and I've recorded this video many times now because of autofocus not working maybe or other things. I'm just words getting muddled up, names getting muddled up. Here's what it is. I want to give you a very quick first impression of the Blackmagic PYXIS 6K. I know it's a little bit late to the party, but I think it's definitely worth talking about now that the PYXIS 12K has been announced. And just to condense this video a little bit, I don't think I necessarily recommend the PYXIS 6K at this point. I think most people should hold off and wait and see what the 12K can deliver, because I think the extra price will definitely justify upgrading to that PYXIS 12K. Now, it's not to say this is a bad camera. It's just that I currently shoot on the cinema camera full frame 6K, which is recording this video. And now that they've added autofocus, I think it becomes a much more compelling camera to buy. Now, I do think the PYXIS 6K is probably going to get the autofocus next because they're very similar internals between the two cameras, but I just don't think this offers enough for me over the 12K. This camera for me, and I've told Blackmagic this, because this is a loaner camera from Blackmagic, so thank you very much for them to send this out. I really appreciate that. Now, I haven't had chance to use this on as many projects as I would like to, but that being said, I've shot a load of B-roll footage with my partner Esther on the Lensbaby Twist 50mm and the Laser Remus 33mm. So I'm going to layer some of that throughout this video. Now, back to the 6K, why I've not really used it all that much. Now, there's two projects still in the works, so I can't show you that. But I just found this camera was sitting right in that kind of middle ground section for me, where for a TV commercial, which I shot a TV commercial on the cinema camera 6K last year, most of the time when we were reaching for that bigger camera, it was for more locked off stuff. So we had the Ursa Mini Pro 12K, which I've done a review on as well on this channel. And we just kept going back to the 6K full frame because of its ease of use. It was smaller, lighter, we had a lot of gimbal work to do. So for me, what I was finding is if we're going to rig a camera up, we might as well rig something more powerful or something else up rather than the PYXIS 6K and keep the cinema camera full frame light and for our lightweight work. So whether that be a Red, an Arri, Sony, whatever, there are other cameras we can use which are more powerful if we are going to have a weighty rig, basically. And that might just come down to preference as well. But now, given the landscape of products, I think for most projects, I would personally go for like a 6K full frame cinema camera, the little one, and the PYXIS 12K. Seems like a fantastic combination where there's a reason to pick up that bigger camera, basically, and reason to rig it out and bring it with you because it offers you something more. So I think those two cameras together are going to make a very strong combination. Because then you're getting the autofocus in the full frame if you need that, say for a gimbal shot or a tracking shot. If you're a smaller crew, there are times on a bigger set where you will use autofocus as well. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting with this camera, the PYXIS 6K, just sitting in this middle ground for me where it just doesn't work in my workflow. I mean, obviously the image quality is superb. What the camera offers is fantastic. I love the D-squeeze options in there. I would like more D-squeeze options in the cinema camera 6K. But other than that, I mean, it's a very similar camera. One thing that I didn't like is the monitoring situation. Now, the side panel screen is great. Not for solar operators, but you are expected to rig a monitor on there. I didn't have access to the official kind of PYXIS monitor that goes on top. So that was a bit of a hindrance. But with that in mind, one other thing which I would really like, which I've seen on Sony cameras now for a while, and I recently picked up an FX3 because I really wanted that autofocus and low light for a project. And when Blackmagic announced autofocus, I sent that Sony straight back because I was like, I would rather use Blackmagic on autofocus and stuff like that. It was still in the returns window. It was a weird time. So I sent that one back. Also, Sony's very odd. Once you buy a Sony camera, for me, I really started to feel that like gear situation where I was like, I used to use the A7S Mark II, but it was always, when's the A7S Mark III coming? The A7S Mark IV, the FX Mark II or whatever. It's very, very odd. I don't like it. And it's easy to kind of slip into. With Blackmagic, I never really have that issue because the cameras offer so much that they're very future-proofed. So anyway, that's just a side note. One feature which I would love in Blackmagic cameras, and I've mentioned this about the PYXIS, and I mentioned this Blackmagic because I'd really like it, is, and I'm sure it will come soon, is the ability to use your iPhone as a monitor just to, get all those D-squeezes, get all the stuff and just use it as a monitor. For the PYXIS especially would be fantastic for solo operators. So yeah, it would be a feature which I would really like to see. ND filters, I suppose, is the only thing missing from that PYXIS 12K. built in. But again, I'm not mega fussed about that. I'm hoping more adapters come out. We will see. So with all that said, hopefully this video wasn't too long and I wasn't rambling too much. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. My name is Vaselli, and if you want to see my reviews on the 6K cinema camera and the Ursa Mini Pro, I will leave a link to that in the description below. If you've got any questions, leave me a comment. Oh, if you found this video helpful, please be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.